I'm so excited because this week we are doing something insanely special. We are in the midst of the self-love level up. This is the first time I'm ever doing a course that is about the real inner work that it takes to get more focused, more motivated, more creative, and live an exciting life. It's not all about the doing. It's not all about the tips. It's not all about the hacks and things that you can do. It's about your energy. And if you want to sustain the success that you're after, then you will join me in this amazing experience. It's 5 days. And if you join today, if you haven't been able to come to all the live events, that's okay. They're available for replay. You can find out all the details about how you can join us for the self-love level up to take your business, your relationships, and your life to the next level. All the details are at selflovelevelup.com. And yeah, I cannot wait to see you there. We are having such an amazing time. And I know that this is going to be exactly what you need at a crazy time like it is right now.
She's an award-winning YouTuber and best-selling author obsessed with helping you go after the life you want.
I like it.
Join her as she seeks out the stories and strategies
Give me every little detail.
of extraordinary people who found success.
I'm going to get emotional. Oh my God.
Welcome to Detail Therapy with Amy Landino.
Good morning, good life. Welcome back to Detail Therapy. In this episode, we're getting into the details about, well, whatever the heck you want to know. I went to my Instagram and I said, hey, I'm going to do a little podcast action today. What do you want to know? And so we're just going to do a fun little Q&A, see what kind of interesting tidbits you can pull out of me. And yeah, not gonna lie, a lot of baby questions. But we're gonna make this a good one for you because it's not just that. It's all about productivity. It's all about morning routines, cyberbullying. I mean, we get a lot of interesting questions over on Instagram. So that's what we're getting into today. If you're new here, hello, my name is Amy Landino. I am the one that people ask questions to, and I will be your host. I'm the founder of GATLU, which stands for Go After the Life You Want. We create resources for ambitious professionals who are ready to unleash their power, get unstuck, and create the life of their dreams. If you check out detailtherapy.online, there's tons of stuff over there, videos, blog posts, of course, the show notes for this podcast. But we're also offering a new daily motivational podcast. It's a couple minutes, sets you up on the right feelings and motivation to get your day started on your terms. That's in our premium community over at Shine Squad. So check that out. Visit detailtherapy.online for absolutely everything that I mentioned. Okay. I do just love a Q&A because this is my opportunity to just see what in the heck you're thinking about because it's my job to bring to you the details that are interesting to you. And so, yeah, it's great to be able to just like see, what is top of mind and what kind of questions that you have. I don't want to make this like a super mom show, but like I said, I got a lot of baby questions. One of the first being productivity tips when you're pregnant. So if anyone's pregnant, yay for you. But if you're not, then I think you'll still enjoy my answer a little bit. That was one question I got, productivity tips when you're pregnant. How do you plan to stay on top of your goals with a baby? All those kinds of things. I'm going to be straight up and real with you right now, like the realest real. Okay. Seriously, very, very real statement right now. As soon as I found out that I was pregnant, which was some time ago, I did what I usually do and I put some pressure on myself because you know what? It was like, oh my gosh, this is an actual real countdown to a moment that I'm going to be pretty out of commission when it comes to the business. I plan to give my whole heart, my whole energy, my whole attention to this new human being that my husband and I have created. And that's a big deal, right? Especially for somebody who owns their own business. And even though I make my own hours and I decide when I do what I do, I still have plenty of that time to do what I do. So obviously this is going to be a major curveball, and I cannot even begin to explain how I intend to be productive with a child. Like, it is not news to anyone that I have no clue how I'm going to pull that off. But that is why I always say to everyone, you have to start somewhere. You have to lean on the things that have always worked for you in the past and are right for you, and find ways to make them work in the future. So I'm going to take what has been working for me. I'm going to take what I know I need for myself and take that understanding into the new experience that I'm going into. But I'm not going to assume it's all going to work. And I just have to try in order to find out what that life looks like, right? So the biggest thing being, in the last number of months in terms of being productive while pregnant, everything needs to have a really hard and fast deadline. We're in the middle of a book right now. We're writing a book right now. I've got my self-love level up going on right now. We have the Good Morning, Good Life show every Sunday at 9 a.m. That's going on. I make podcasts for you all the time. There's a lot going on. So we're working as a team to figure out, okay, well, let's keep continuing production as usual to the best of our ability. And then there's going to be a point where production has to stop, because if Amy's face isn't there, then it doesn't really work out. But there's some ways that we continue to make it work. And so we're finding those scalable opportunities and we're planning accordingly. And that's probably how I'm most productive. The book is great too, because I have a co-author. So a lot of these things that we have going on, even though my face is on them, I'm still able to get help. And so I think that's the biggest thing I would say is me being productive while pregnant, me being productive while, completely disconnected because I just had a baby, is me being able to ask for help. And the more I prepare the people who I need that help from, the better. We've even hired a new video editor lately. So we've got even more help on the team that is taking things off my plate. So video editing, we have an amazing podcast producer, Andrew, who has been with Detail Therapy since the beginning. So he is just fabulous and continues to help make the podcast happen. Everything has to do with who helps us to be able to push these things to the finish line. And that's how we stay consistent for you as a media company. So I don't know that I have anything deeper than that. I think the other thing that I do is keep really, really simply a list of 5 things that are very, very important for me to do. This is the 5 things I got to do every day. That's been my magic number lately. That number has changed over the years, but I've found that 5 is good. Sometimes the 5 things are all work related. Most of the time they're not. One of the most important things to me right now is being able to exercise in a way that is appropriate for me for the time that I can do that, which is basically just walking. I love to take a walk. It makes me feel a lot better. It clears my mind. It gives me an opportunity to listen to an audiobook. I have just been ripping through audiobooks on these walks. I will also listen to courses that I attend. I'll just listen to any content that gets me really pumped up because I'm getting that momentum by walking. I'm making my body feel better. And that's probably the best form of exercise that I can do right now, being 8 months pregnant. So I love that. And that is always on my list because I hate missing that walk. I can feel it in my body. I get more uncomfortable at the end of the day if I haven't been able to kind of just like give myself that opportunity to get that energy out. So yeah, I've got a list of 5 things and I pink highlight them as they get done. It makes me feel very good. I can mark them off. And so we've got some work-related things on that list. We've got some personally health-related things, whatever it is. And it all makes me feel more productive. But one of the biggest things about productivity for me lately in my own personal feeling is it's not just about doing, right? It's about asking for help. It's about feeling like you're doing the right things for the right reasons. It's not just doing for the sake of doing. And I think that's why we have reached this point and why I launched the Self-Love Level Up, because it's like we've reached this point where we realized, oh yeah, being super busy and doing all the things and checking all the boxes is not fulfilling us. And so that's why I always limit myself. It's 5 things. And if I do the 5 things, great. If I don't, it's not a failure, but we know where we left off for tomorrow and we just do the best we can. Part of that conversation with, the show on YouTube and with the podcast is like, okay, when are we going to take our maternity leave from these things? Because, Amy's not going to be available to podcast and there's baby screaming. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting in the room where my baby's going to be sleeping, maybe for nap time, in the early days. I'm sitting in that room. I'm sitting in her nursery right now. It's half studio, half nursery. Like my husband and I are using this room for the time being for podcast recordings. And that's not going to be happening for much longer, right? So all these things are going to change. And so we have to work with the team to figure out, okay, when are we going to have to put an end date on this? And so how do we reverse engineer that and get it done? And even those end dates have changed because I'm recognizing how unsustainable my energy levels have been. And there's just no way around that. I can keep pushing myself. I can keep doing things when I'm exhausted, but for the sake of what? And as much as I love showing up for you, I also need to take care of myself so that, these podcasts and videos and courses and coaching and all this stuff, it's worth it for you. I want it to be worth it for you. I don't want it to be like at the end of my rope. So I feel like I answered any productivity related pregnancy questions there right off the bat. I just wanted to get that out there. I don't have all the answers. I would never claim to have all the answers. And it's going to be a journey that I have to get on in order for me to find out what I learn about this process and how much of what I have been able to do in the past continues to work, how much of it will no longer work because I'm in a new season of life. And it just comes down to respecting that. So Cassidy asked, how do you not put your self-worth into performance-based tasks? I love this question so much. It is an amazing question because I think we've all had this really bad tendency to do this. And this comes down to recognizing a couple things. First of all, when do you remember this first becoming a problem for you? Maybe you didn't know it was a problem at the time, but you're learning now. When did your self-worth become tied to performance-based tasks? I can tell you when it happened for me. It was way back when I was younger. There was just something about feeling better about myself if I did something and somebody clapped for me, right? Or did something and someone said, "Oh my gosh, that was great. Great job." And the fewer and further between those compliments were, the more you wanted them all the time, right? And so you start connecting. When you realize what those moments are, and what those tasks are, and what made you into this doer that's now saying, I'm only worth something if I check the box. I'm only worth something if I deliver this XYZ thing, product, result, whatever. That's connecting the dots for you on how to make it stop. Because we are not here because we were meant to check a bunch of boxes in order to prove we were worth it. We're already worth it, and therefore we get to check the boxes if we want. And so that's been a really interesting journey for me too, and I can completely connect with this. This is why we're talking about this in Self-Love Level Up, to be honest with you, just in case that calls to you, you can check that out. But it has a lot to do with our relationships and our environments. And when you think about those moments and you can go back to those moments and try to figure out, okay, why do I think that way? Why is that happening for me? Then you can really start to reassess the importance of that. Okay, well, was it to make mom proud? Okay, well, was it to prove to a man that they should be in a relationship with me? Was it to prove to all of these employers that they should hire me because I'm the best? Was it to prove to these clients they should hire me because I'm the best? If it has continual resonance with I'm trying to impress people, whether I care what they think about me or not. I mean, in some cases, we do care what they think of us, right? Like family or people we want to hire us or whatever. On some level, we do care what they think. But if that's always what it is, it has nothing to do with, I'm going to be able to look at myself in the mirror and say, I love myself unconditionally. Only I check that box being the case. That's where we really need to connect our issues from. We should be able to say that no matter what happened this morning, I woke up wrong side of the bed, late, didn't do my morning routine. I don't have a job right now. I don't know what the future holds for me. I could be in a better financial situation. Whatever it is that you feel like you've got to check off, we're always looking for the negatives. And I think if you are constantly doing that, then you're never going to get out of this headspace of your self-worth being connected to performance, because it's never going to be enough. There's always more. There's always better. There's always somebody who achieved more before you did. There's always more money. There's always, 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 always more. So we have to put a stop to that connection and feeling like we're not worthy if we haven't done something. I hate to say it, but in a lot of ways, I hate to say it. I say it all the time. Let's be honest. I hate to say it, but social media makes us feel so unworthy all the time. So unworthy all the time. There's always something there that could be motivating us. But instead it gets spun into a negative connotation in our mind in that, oh, I should have done that, or I should have tried that, or how come I don't have that, or why are they so lucky? It always becomes something else because someone else's building getting bigger means that ours isn't. And although that is actually kind of a realistic statement in this economy, the price of lumber being so high, that the metaphor is totally inaccurate. You can build your thing. You can be successful. You can have whatever it is you want. It is not dependent on someone else crumbling for you. And that's the misconception I feel like is happening when we see social media is, okay, well, they've got it going on. They've clearly got it figured out. Why am I going to bother? Because whatever happened in their life was easier, faster, more productive. And so why would I even try? We have to start from a place of self-worth. We can't go looking for it. And there's a lot of mindfulness to that. There's a lot of just knowing. And a lot of us don't have that knowing because we're looking for the knowing. We're looking for someone to tell us. We're looking for permission. And the more we're looking for all of that stuff, the more we're going to connect doing to the meaning. And there's just not enough conversation happening around that. Ugh, it's sad. Annie said, I'm so tired and I feel lazy from work. Any tricks to staying productive staying productive at home? Okay, this is a great question. I think we have to respect something real quick. And certainly I'm in this season of life more than anything. I may work from home, but there's still a boundary that has to be there for us to know work versus home. And it is not surprising that you're tired after you work. Okay? Pull that into your mind right now. Pull that into your mind right now. It is not weird that you are tired after you work. Okay? I think we have insanely high expectations of ourselves coming home from doing X amount of things or a job or whatever to do what's next. Certainly if we have not allotted our energy appropriately. So if we're not getting enough sleep, if we're not eating well, and then we go and we have to go do something from 9 to 5 and then hope that we can get to the things we're very excited about from 5 to 9, and then we just don't because we are exhausted. So I want you to first recognize that when you say, how do you stay productive at home? Keep in mind that your productivity is also connected to your health. Your productivity is connected to how you allocate energy. And you're not going to be able to do a million things after you come home from a day's work because you need to eat, you need to see your family, you need to, it is what it is. Everybody's in a different place. If you are, let's say, single, you have a full-time job and you want to get your side hustle off the ground and your time outside of work is very critical for that, I can relate. But it doesn't mean that you're pulling from unlimited energy stores. So, how do you stay productive at home? Be realistic with yourself, first of all. Where are we getting that energy from? What do we need to do to be able to restore that energy? And how much sleep are we going to get so we can do it all over again? Is the weekend a better time for some of that stuff? I mean, I don't know what we're exactly talking about. Maybe you're just talking about keeping your home tidy and we're not even talking about a big project, right? And you just want to be more productive when you get home. My personal tip for that is that I try not to let everything go completely haywire all the time. So I'm not constantly in need to do a deep clean at 7 o'clock at night, right? I'm tired. I worked all day. If most of the dishes are not already done, then I don't want to have to do them all the time. I want to be able to throw everything in the dishwasher. So the dishwasher's got to be continually maintained. I need to get the dishwasher running on a regular basis so that I can stuff it full at the end of the night and not have to spend all my time over the sink, especially now when I really need to be off my feet. So we have to recognize our energy. We have to recognize that you being productive in the evening might be that you're taking a load off. And having insanely high expectations of ourselves just because we have quote unquote free time is just not realistic. So it is not surprising if you're tired. If you're lazy, I mean, like in what context are you lazy? Are you calling yourself lazy because you're not checking off a list of 20 things that you could be doing in your spare time because you're tired from working a full day? Like it's just unfair for you to treat yourself like that. It just is. So just be honest about where you are right now and what the season of life is and what you're doing and what you have to do and what you want to do and how can you start to move some of that time around. But don't call yourself lazy because it's perfectly reasonable for you to be tired at a certain point in the day. Okay? I mean, like I talk about this all the time, especially when it comes to like your workout schedule. With your workout schedule, if you don't want to work out after work, that's not surprising. Your body's tired too. So the motivation is probably going to be very different than how you would feel first thing in the morning. Yes, there's going to be a challenge first thing in the morning to work out, but at least you know you're pulling from fresh energy. And that is so, so, so important for us to keep in mind. Ellie asked, do I have a new morning routine? Lately, my morning routine has been very, very simple. The first most important thing about my morning routine is to sleep my little face off. And so that's what I've been doing. I have not been having a rhyme or reason for when I go to bed, except for I'm usually in bed between 9 and 10 o'clock. And it's because I'm exhausted. So it takes next to nothing for me to fall asleep. Staying asleep is a challenge because I'm uncomfortable and I have to use the ladies' room frequently and all that kind of stuff. But falling asleep is nothing. I'm not keeping track of all of these things because I know I am going to be up a lot throughout the night. So that's why I'm just letting myself sleep. I just let myself sleep to whenever I feel like it. And then I wake up. Because there's going to be a time in the very near future where I'm not going to be able to just sleep. I'm going to be on someone else's schedule. So I am living that season right now fully. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I decide my schedule. I work for myself and I am preparing to have a baby. So I'm sleeping as much as humanly possible. So that's really the most important part of my morning routine right now. Because of that, my husband and I tend to get up together and we basically just, give the dog a little belly rub and I do my skincare. I get going, I get dressed so that we can go downstairs together. I make the coffee. I don't know why my Italian husband cannot make a pot of coffee as well as I can. It blows my mind, but he likes to joke about it. And it's true. I'm very good at making the coffee. It doesn't taste as good when he makes it. So I go downstairs and I make the coffee. And while the coffee is brewing, we take the dog outside. Being in Florida during this pregnancy has been such a blessing because we are able to walk outside. Again, taking those walks has been so critical to this time for me. So walking the dog, getting that vitamin D first thing in the morning, spending some time together before we're on devices. I have not seen my phone still up to this point. I've done my skincare. I've gotten dressed. We're walking the dog. I'm going to have some coffee. I might have my list of 5 things in front of me to get focused, but I am not looking at my phone. I'm just not. And I don't miss it. I don't think about it. I am not sitting here going, okay, how many more minutes until I can check Instagram? It doesn't even appeal to me. It is work. My phone is work. And so I put off the work until I got to do the work because I know that's not where my head needs to be first thing in the morning. Once we get back from the walk, I have been meditating. This has become much more important to me because it allows me, back to the question from earlier, it allows me to continue to add separation between feeling fulfilled and feeling self-worth and doing stuff. And so by saying, oh, I have so much to do today, look at my list, oh my goodness, I've got so much to do today, let me hurry up and get started, I only make that more pressure-filled. Whereas if I say, okay, this is all the stuff I have to do today, I have plenty of time. I will do it. I will get it done. If I don't, it is not the end of the world. And regardless, I'm going to start by doing nothing. It's just, it hits different. It just works for me right now because that's what I'm trying to set the stage in my mind, is that there's always an emergency. There's going to be a baby crying. I'm going to have to figure out what the cry is about, and I'm going to have to figure that out, and I'm going to have work to do, whether that work is work or work is a baby or work is something else or work is dishes or work is whatever. There's always something to do. So I'm going to start by taking the time that I can to just center myself. I just do 10 to 15 minutes. I haven't even been using an app. It's been very lazy meditation. I probably need the apps if I'm being honest because my mind's still going. But, I think it has to do with not forcing yourself to dive into something or feel like you're doing something right. I'm just sitting in a chair. I set my timer on my watch for 10 minutes and I just sit there and I try to let the thoughts just flow through. When I see them, I let them fly away. They come back, I get too focused on them, I let them fly away, and I just sit there for 10 minutes and I do that. When I'm done meditating, I've been journaling. The form of journaling that I've been leaning on lately is affirmation journaling. And that's just because it's another way of reminding myself that no matter how I feel about progress in my life, no matter how I feel about my goals, no matter how I feel about tasks, no matter how I feel, I'm still worth it. And so by kind of just writing what feels right to me in the moment in a journal, some of my favorite affirmations, that feels like the way to end my meditation really strong. Sometimes I'll even do it before I meditate so that that's what's on my mind before I meditate in case I'm going to be thinking too much. At least I could be thinking about any one of those affirmations that I write down. So that's the journaling that I've been doing lately. And once I do that, I'm ready to start the day. And I'll just look at that list of 5 things and say, all right, what do I got to do? And especially if it's just tasks that aren't scheduled. I don't have a whole lot scheduled other than shooting schedules right now. I'm not really taking a lot of appointments or calls. I'm doing my course, but that's my community in the course. They're my priority. I'm not taking a lot of conference calls. I'm not taking a lot of meetings. We haven't been doing interviews on detail therapy. We're planning to bring those back next season, but it's just not where we're at right now. It's just not the lifestyle that I can work with at the moment. So I'm able to just chip away at that list. And my team supports me on that list all throughout the day. Not only am I working on what I got to get done, but I'm helping them out with everything that they're held accountable for. And we're all just getting it done as a team. So that's my morning routine as of lately. It's movement, mindfulness, and then mastery is my work. And that's how it is until the baby comes. at which point I probably would never even claim to have a morning routine. I can't imagine. I would be really surprised if I'm telling you about my morning routine when the baby comes. I'll be very surprised. Somebody asked about how to deal with cyber bullies. And I really appreciate this question because I think it's such an epidemic in where we are today. It makes me really sad. We have never been more empowered to treat people poorly than we are today. And interestingly, it's because we feel like there's so much inhumanity out there and we're treating people inhumanely. Like it's just so weird. You don't realize that when you say something online, it really is directed at a person sometimes. And especially if that person sees it and responds to it, then it's like the person responding to it is defensive and they should be stronger than that. And anyone who's got criticism should be able to handle it. Every single last one of us is dealing with something. Every single last one of us is dealing with mental health issues right now. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you're the most fulfilled, happy person in the world. There is something that is, making your mind go in a negative space. Sometimes we're all dealing with something. So it just kind of blows my mind how much, especially with the TikTok culture, where content is created so quickly and so fast, and you can watch someone in the space of 30 seconds and make a judgment so much faster than ever before. Like on YouTube, the bullies had to watch minutes. It's like, of course they could judge in seconds, but you would watch minutes to come up with your judgment. And now you only have to watch for 7 seconds and come up with your judgment. If you are dealing with cyber bullies, first and foremost, just know that you should just have compassion for that person, that they are so unaware of how their words hurt and how much their words mean. And mostly because those words are a direct reflection of them in their life, sadly. And they're just taking it out on the first person that they can apply it to. I do think we live in a great world of holding each other accountable right now as well. But for the most part, we're not holding each other accountable. We're just trying to tear each other down. Because if we were holding people accountable, we would be constructive. And in most cases, that constructiveness is not there. When the constructiveness is there, sadly, it's not being taken well because everything online is so negative, mostly unconstructive, that we even assume constructive criticism is trolling. And that's not always true. But if someone is cyberbullying, like straight up, no questions asked, saying something about your appearance, saying something about how you suck at life, how they're giving you absolutely zero in terms of constructive, you've just got to let that go. That has nothing to do with you. Absolutely zero. Absolutely zero to do with you. If somebody has the time to watch your content, to see what you post, and come up with something derogatory to type with their fingers, or worse, voice to text in a comment to you, that is a direct reflection of how crap their own life is. And I think we need to have a little bit more compassion for those people because the energy we give out, we get back. And if we want a little bit of compassion, if we want people to be a little bit more self-aware, then we need to be self-aware. I don't see a ton of cyberbullying in my space, not to the degree that some people do. I will just say that. And so I'm being completely transparent that it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. And I probably am speaking from a very easy position right now. But in the times where somebody does make me feel really crappy about myself, I just disregard it, because this is why I don't spend a lot of time on social media. I spend time to communicate with you guys. I spend time to comment back with you guys because I know that you care about the conversation with me, and your conversation is worth looking for. Even if I have to sort through some people who are rude in order to be able to see the people who are here for the right reasons, that's worth it for me. But I have to remember to siphon that out. And that's also why I'm not going to spend my entire day responding to comments and DMs, because for my own mental health, it's just not a good idea. So I think the people that struggle the most with this are probably not spending enough time on self-reflection and self-worth and inner work, and are spending too much time checking the comments and the likes and seeing how valid they are today. And that's just the truth. And it's really, 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 really hard to get out of that habit, because this crap is an addiction. It's a straight up addiction. Every notification is a dopamine rush. Every single thing that somebody wants to share with you is sent to you with such priority that now humans are saying to other humans, oh my God, did you not see my text? Oh my God, did you not see my DM? Oh my God, reply, reply, reply. And now we're being held to this standard that we're not allowed to be away from our phone, because otherwise someone else might be in crisis that they needed you at that exact moment to be able to tell them, do you like the pink one or do you like the blue one? Like, I'll get back to you. And no, it is not saying anything about me and how I feel about you right now if I take my time to reply to your text. I'm not mad at you. I just also have a life. And I care about you enough that I would rather have a great conversation with you for an hour than to text with you all day long, or to DM with you every second you send something I have to write you back. We don't even have that boundary for ourselves. And so we're being held to the standard to constantly check things. And then we are stuck with whatever negativity comes our way on these devices because we can't step away. Screw that, man. That is not my Gatlu. You guys, let me make this abundantly clear. Gatlu to me has very little to do with my phone and social media. If I have not gotten clear on that for myself in the last few years, oh my gosh, that's been the biggest thing. That's been the biggest thing. And I definitely wouldn't have said that 10 years ago. There was a time where I was just so obsessed and I thought I needed it so much. I have learned. So if Gatlu to you is to constantly be connected to the world and to people and there's nothing wrong with that, but you must learn the energetic boundary and the difference between somebody who's cyberbullying you, somebody who's bringing you constructive criticism, and how you can make sure to pay attention to the right people in between so that you don't hate it all at the end. I respect the platform for what it is. And that's what I use it for, especially because I have so many great questions I still need to answer, and I'm taking way too long. Let's see. Someone said a step-by-step help list when you're freaking lost in life. Well put. Here's the thing. I can completely understand the feeling of being lost. I do. It is something that affects all of us, but that's also what you're saying to yourself. You have written this to me. You have officially put it out in the universe. You've probably already put it out in the universe to yourself by saying, I'm so lost, I'm so lost, I'm so lost. I am so lost in this life. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't. I don't know if I can. I'm lost. And that is what you're saying, right? This is what you're thinking. The problem is that you may think you're self-identifying a problem. You may think you're self-identifying a challenge. and that challenge is that you're lost. And you're probably like, okay, at least I know where I'm starting. At least I know what my problem is. But you're so focused on the problem, you're not seeing anything good out of this. And I would actually be very surprised to hear if you've not got anything good to say about your life right now. First of all, because we can be thankful for the little things. Clearly, you can be thankful for having a phone and an internet connection and being able to connect with me on social media and ask me a question, right? So just let's start very small. That's something I know is the case for you because you've sent me this message. I would also like to hope that there is a roof over your head. I would like to hope that you have a family or friends or roommates or a significant other. I think we can be thankful for a lot of different things. So we don't focus on the good at all and we're just focused on being lost. If you do nothing but say, I'm lost, I'm lost, I'm lost, I'm lost, it's all you're going to consume yourself with. You're going to continually envision yourself in this labyrinth of options that you do not know how to travel through because you won't take a step in any direction so that you can start to say, I'm no longer lost. I've chosen a direction. Being lost means we're not making decisions. If we're not making decisions, we're chronically procrastinating. Procrastination is simply the product of indecision. So if you are feeling lost right now, what have you not decided? There is something right now that you are not making a decision on, and it's for a reason. Let's give an example. I want to start a business. I know what that business would be. I think I could probably make the same amount of money I make now, but I would have to quit my job, or I would really have to structure my time accordingly if I were to keep this job. And I might keep this job because it's the safe thing to do. I'll keep this job. I'll get a regular paycheck and I might side hustle this other thing. But then will I have enough time? I'll probably be exhausted. I'll never see my friends. I'll never see my family. I won't get enough sleep. So I'm not sure. I'm probably just not even going to start. I really should start. I could at least get a logo. Maybe I should file for an LLC first. I should probably wait to get a client before I even bother doing any of that legal stuff. And here we are. We're lost. Can't make a decision. Just one decision. And maybe that decision isn't for you to jump ship and leave your job. But maybe the decision is just to try something. So if you're lost in life, what are you not making a decision on? What decision are you avoiding? Oh, I'm in a college program right now that I wish I could quit. I want to quit. Like, I don't even want to be here anymore. This is a complete waste of my time. That'd be that's a heck of a decision to have to make. Just look at it. Just have it be in front of you head on and address the fact that this is a decision you haven't made yet, but it's on your mind and it's taking up space in your mind. And you sit with all of this space being taken up in your mind. Nothing else can have any room because it's consuming you. So you just continue to stay lost. Every time you put out into this world the negative that is on your mind, it takes that space away from something else. So we have to start to squeeze in other ideas that we want for ourselves, that we feel are possible for ourselves, right? Like, I'm a huge success. Instead of saying, I'm so freaking lost, just say, I'm a huge success. I'm a huge success. I'm a huge success. If I'm a huge success, then I can make a small decision. If I'm a huge success, I'm not lost. I'm just carefully considering my next step. If I'm a huge success, I'm making the most of my time all the time. If I'm a huge success, then whoever's cyberbullying me is totally uninformed, right? I'm a huge success. It doesn't matter if that's true or not, but it's starting to take up space in your mind. And now we can start reverse engineering something completely different, because right now the story is I'm lost. That's a story. That is a story. Are you literally lost? I don't think so. It is a story. It is not real. You are not lost. You know exactly where you are right now. You know exactly how to get to your next destination, no matter what that is. The coffee place, your job, your next appointment. You know, you are not lost. That is a story you're telling yourself. We're telling ourselves a new story. I am a huge success. I am a huge success. Now, if that's the story, and it's a pretty desirable story, compared to the alternative. What can we start to contribute that would make that story more palpable, more feasible, less fake, less, I'm just telling myself something that's not true? How do you want to make it true? That's my step-by-step help list. If you don't want the story that's in your mind to be true, you have to question it and you have to give yourself a new one to think about. You have to give yourself a new one to work with, because trying to fix feeling lost is going to be so much more trying and challenging than trying to build upon, I'm a huge success. That's what I want you to do. Okay, I don't know if I answered very many questions because I just had so many thoughts about the ones that were in front of me. But that is our Q&A for today. I might have to do like a part 2 because I still have so many other questions I didn't answer. If you are still working on this inner work piece, if you're still having a hard time with this conversation in your mind, you can't make decisions, you're having a hard time setting boundaries, even if those boundaries are just with yourself, then I want you to join the Self-Love Level Up. We are in the midst of an amazing experience right now. It's a 5-day series. If you join late, the replays are still available and they're still going to be groundbreaking for you. You can have all the steps, you can have all the hacks, you can go back and listen to every episode of Detail Therapy where I tell you exactly what to do and which website to go to and which logo to get and which color to pick and how to get your LLC and all this. You can do all of that. It is not going to rectify how you feel at the end of the day about yourself. You're not going to feel fulfilled. You can operate a business for a long time on just those little hacks and things. It does not mean that it's going to be your Gatlu. It does not mean that you're going to feel better about yourself in the end. It does not mean that you're going to feel like enough and worth it. And that is why we created the Self-Love Level Up. Because without that, it's all meaningless. You have to start from a place where you are already worth it. All the details are at selflovelevelup.com. Check it out before the doors close very, very, very soon, because they will. Because a very limited time offering. Check that out. I am so appreciative of everybody who came over to Instagram and asked me questions. We'll do more of these very soon. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Remember, subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life you want. I'll see you back here next week. Cheers.